A very good morning and welcome to the media fraternity. Upon conclusion of signing of joint record of discussions after the 53rd BSF BGB Director General level Border Coordination Conference, we have His Excellency Major General AKM Nazmul Hasan, BAM, NDC, PSC, Director General Border Guard Bangladesh, and Shri Dr. Sujoy Lal Thaosen, Director General Border Security Force, amidst us for media interaction. First, PRO BSF will read out the official press statement, and then media is welcome to interact with both the Director Generals. Over to PRO BSF for the official statement.
Good morning, everybody. His Excellency Major General AKM Nazmul Hasan, BAM, NDC, PSC, Director General Border Guard Bangladesh, led the Bangladesh delegation to India to attend the 53rd Border Coordination Conference between the Border Security Force India and Border Guard Bangladesh, held at BSF Chawla Camp, New Delhi from 11th June to 14th June 2023. The Indian delegation was led by Dr. Sujoy Lal Thaosen, IPS, Director General, Border Security Force. After detailed discussions on the agenda points, both sides agreed to adhere to the conclusions reached. Highlights of the joint record of discussions are: during this conference, in a momentous decision that will have a profound positive impact on the lives of the population along the Indo-Bangladesh border, a total of 5 development projects were agreed upon, enhancing the joint efforts towards progress and prosperity in the region. This decision is a significant step towards improving the overall quality of life and will serve to foster stronger bilateral trade and relations between the two countries. Furthermore, it highlights the commitment of both the Honorable Prime Ministers to prioritize developmental works aimed at the welfare of the border population and the fulfillment of their aspirations. DGBSF appreciated the cooperation of BGB, which has paved the way for expediting the construction of single-row fence and essential elements along the Indo-Bangladesh border. DGBGB assured full cooperation and mentioned that concerned battalions have been instructed to conduct joint verifications for the proposed single-row fence works. Both sides also agreed for a meeting of nodal officers within 1 month time for sorting out the matters related to developmental and infrastructure works. Highlighting the importance of coordinated border management plan in curbing the peril of trans-border crimes like drug smuggling, contraband items, FICN, gold, narcotics, both sides agree to pursue and share real-time information and interrogation reports of traffickers, if any, and assure to remain extra vigilant to curb them in order to make the Indo-Bangladesh border crime-free. On the issue of violent incidents along the border and to ensure reducing their number, both sides agree to work jointly and engage professionally, enhance joint patrolling, vigilance especially during late hours of the nights to early morning, intensifying public awareness programs, sharing of real-time information, and making all-out efforts to bring these criminals to justice. Both sides appreciated the efforts taken for strengthening mutual cooperation through various agreed events undertaken as confidence-building measures under the comprehensive border management plans, quarterly meeting at nodal officers levels, coordinated joint patrolling, and identification of vulnerable areas. DGBSF also pointed out that the number of sports activities amongst both the forces at the border should increase, and both should also explore the possibility of having water sports activities in the riverine border, which was well taken by DGBJB. Both sides agreed to continue with all the bilateral engagements like games and sports, joint retreat ceremonies, goodwill visits, training exchange programs, etc. in the days to come. The exchange visits by the media houses was also duly appreciated by DGBSF as proposed by DGBGB. Both DGs expressed their satisfaction over the outcome of the conference. Both the delegation leaders reiterated their commitments to work jointly for maintaining peace and tranquility at the border. Both sides provisionally agreed to hold the next DG level conference in Bangladesh. Now I have both the Directors Generals of the Border Guard Bangladesh and Border Security Force for media interaction.
morning. A question directed to me or to? Okay, please.
So, sir, we know that these coordination meetings that happen bi-annually. So, let me introduce myself. I'm Neelab from the Press Trust of India, sir. So, the main irritant between the two countries remains when Bangladesh says that their civilians are being killed at the hands of the BSF, wherein the BSF has continuously raised this issue of late-night border activities, which especially criminals, and that is why they have to resort to self-defense and also to curb the crimes on the border. So what has been the progress on this front? I would seek an answer from both the DGs on this.
Thank you very much for the question. Yes, this issue of killing of Bangladesh nationals at the border was raised by our counterpart, and our explanation to this is that BSF does not discriminate amongst the criminals. So, when this kind of an incident happens, usually it is taken as a last resort when the life of BSF personnel on duty is threatened. We would like to add here that BSF believes in the use of non-lethal weapons, and in fact it has been made mandatory, and it's a policy, and we vigorously follow it. However, it has been seen that in a couple of incidents, the use of force by the BSF personnel was probably more than it was necessary. So these individuals were identified, and the proceedings as per BSF Act is going on. And we have also decided to bring such number to the minimum, and all efforts to sensitize our officers, train our officers to use it only as a last resort is continuously going on, but maybe more efforts we will put it in future. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Probably this is Excellency DG BSF. He has explained the matter, but even then it is a matter of concern. No one desires that such kind of killing should happen in the bordering area. And we always, maybe it's not the Indian nationalist or in the Bangladeshi. No lives to be lost like this. So we should take the measures, and that is our great concern. And we discussed at length about how to reduce this killing incident in the bordering area. So we, both the DGs and at all level, we have also discussed about this, and we agreed that we should, sometimes we have the misunderstanding or misinformation about our lower level, ground level forces. So we requested them that the people or the troops working on ground, they should be well briefed so that they should not use this lethal weapon to kill any person. So we should work. If we work together, I hope that this killing incident in the bordering area will be reduced. Thank you.
Yes. Good morning, sir. I'm Priyank from Times Network. My question is obviously to both of the sides. So the issue of illegal immigrants has always been raised. Indian courts have also discussed about it. The demography has changed. What is the proper means by which there will be foolproof mechanism so that this extensive border, which is a porous border, there's also an issue, can be sorted down so that the killings has also happened because of these things only. So what is a foolproof mechanism, and when can we get that? Thank you.
Look, we have around 4,100 approximately long border we share between the two countries. It traverses through mountains and hills and riverine and land, where land holdings are sometimes contiguous. The boundary passes through several villages, agricultural fields, ponds, and the rivers. The majority of the international border is fenced. However, we have several gaps in between. And some of these, crossing over of individuals from other side to our side happens due to the pull and push factor, sometime for purpose of business, sometime for the purpose of visiting relatives, and many for even for smuggling activities. If you see the figure, which will be shared, the figure has significantly decreased. The pull factor from here are also much less than what it used to be before. I can say that both the border guarding forces have worked very tirelessly to ensure that such illegal crossing, whether through a design or inadvertently, is less. And there are hundreds of cases where people have crossed over and without knowing where the zero line lies, and we have sent them back. We have an excellent relationship with BGB, and we have handed them over. Yeah.
What we have learned through news reports also, that they are organized gangs which are, into illegal immigrant sending. What is the mechanism which is being taken on the other side, from the Bangladesh side, sir, to you? Thank you.
So, we do, as you have said, the organized gang, as far as I'm concerned, I do not have such information that there is some organized team or organized people are working as a gang and trying to have the illegal crossing or coming out. We do not have the information. Maybe some of the smugglers or some people, it's not only one side, it's the both sides. And it's a both-way communication. It's not the one side is going, if they do not have the understanding in both sides, it's a both-way communication, then one side cannot go for this kind of activities. So it's the equally, both the sides, they have the people to have this kind of activities. As you have said, that the porousness, you have given the answer, the very porousness of our border is facilitating sometimes to have this kind of activities. And more so the culture, the heritage of India, Bangladesh, around the border is almost same. And their relatives just staying the 2 meters, 50 meters away from the boundary. So they have the relatives and friends across the border. So sometimes to meet the friends and relatives, somebody may cross, and somebody might, as you have said, that is smuggling also. And besides this, there's the women and children trafficking. Sometimes the criminals, they try to exploit this human trafficking, especially the women and children. That is very dangerous. So as we, BGB and BSF, when there is an information, we have the also mechanism, and we are trying to give emphasis onto the information sharing. Because as I've said, that the both sides we have the people. So if we can have the better information sharing, so we can share the information that the BSF can take action accordingly. Same way, if there is anything inside, the BSF also share the information. So we also take the appropriate actions to reduce this. And more so, we have also trying to seal up the borders, both by BSF and BGB as well, working together. We are also working, as you know, that the joint patrolling is done very regularly along the border, so that this kind of trespass or illegal crossing or whatever you say, it doesn't take place. So we are taking all out preparation and the steps so that this system or this tendency is reduced from the both sides. Thank you.
If there are no questions, yes, ma'am.
That's
please.
all?
So there's one last question.
Okay, please.
Morning, sir.
Good morning.
I'm Chaitali Bag from Aviation and Defense Universe. Sir, just now you answered a question from my colleague about the illegal immigrants. I would like to talk about the Malda district, where these kind of things happen a lot in very general way. I mean, as sir said, relatives keep on coming, and sometimes the smuggling happens through women and children also, drug smuggling and even weapon smuggling. And so are there any specific measures being taken to let's say, find out that who's an innocent one? And I'm sure checkings do happen, but that is where, the loopholes are. So are there any specific measures that you both have decided on that these kind of checkings will be done, specifically with the women and children, where they are the most volatile and they are the most vulnerable people who do the smuggling, and through them the smuggling is being done?
Both the border guarding forces have excellent relationship and coordination. We exchange information real time at the various levels, right from BOP upwards. And we also have information about some people who are indulging in this kind of an activities. And I would like to also inform you that we have anti-human trafficking units in that part of the border, which you mentioned, and they are working in a close coordination with local police and also RPF and other agencies. A lot of women and children who are being trafficked have been apprehended and restored back to their families. Exact figure can be made available to you later. We are also working in close collaboration with the NGOs in that area who have the information. And we did find that sometimes the children and women, because of allurement and huge money which they have not seen, they innocently become victims. However, during the course of investigation and in the trial in the court, I think they do get relief. But however, once they are proceeded against a certain act, the law has to go through its motion. Thank you.
So good morning. I'm from Hindustan Times. So my question is to Major General Hasan. So here we keep reading reports about the BSF seizing tens of thousands of bottles of cough syrup every day, almost every day. So cough syrup bottles, fentanyl and other cough syrups. So we read about how they form crack teams and how the cases are busted. So more curious about knowing, so what steps is the BGB taking to ensure that the demand is stopped across that side of the border? Because we are told that the demand is such that people are willing to risk their lives and then smuggle cough syrups, which is one of the most common smuggled items. So could you list some of the steps that the BGB is taking to ensure that there is a decrease in such cases?
Okay, thank you very much for the question. It's some kind of drug, and you know that our stand by our Honorable Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina is zero tolerance about the drug in our country. But even then, the drug, as you say, supply, it depends on the supply, demand and supply. If there is a demand, supply will be always there. So to stop this drug or this cough syrup, we take a lot of measures, and we have instructed our ground level forces to have the zero tolerance about this cough syrup or any kind of drugs into our country. And that's why we could increase the seizure of this cough syrup and other drug elements. And besides this, the motivation around the bordering area, BGB as a BGB, we take a lot of initiative to motivate, to educate the bordering people, so they do not get such kind of activities involved. So I can see that in a year, we conduct more than 25,000 such program along the borders, so that people are aware of the situation and they are educated about this, so that they don't indulge such kind of activities. So we are trying to take all kind of measures so that it doesn't happen across the borders. Thank you.
If there are no questions, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Your Excellency. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much for taking the trouble and negotiating a very bad traffic today to reach here. And we hope that we will have more such interaction in future. Thanks again for taking the trouble of coming. Thank you.
So I also take the opportunity. So I thank the Excellency DG BSF for hosting this 53 DGLT here. So I also thank your team for all supports, and my special thanks to all the journalists of print and electronic media for being here to the early morning. And